and silent. With this good note, a very good morning to everybody present today to this two-day national conference on winning with VUCA in innovations and strategies. We now start the day with the blessings of the Almighty Lord Ganesha. I now call upon Ms. Nitya Aras for the Invocation Song. Please raise for the same.
Sari Gama Pani Sa Sani Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Mahaganapatim Shri Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Vasishta Vamadevadi Vandita Mahaganapatim Nisagasa Nisagamaga Nisagasa Nisagamaga Mapani Pa Mapani Nipa Mapani Pa Mapani Nipa Panisa 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 Mapani 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 Panisa Sa Panisa Sa Panisa Sa Panisa Mapani Ni Mapani Ni Mapani Ni Mapani Ni Pasani Pamani Pamaga Pamaga Sagasani Pasani Pamani Pamaga Pamaga Sagasani Sa Pani Sagamaga Pani Sagamaga Pani Sagamaga Pani Sagamaga Pani Sadani Sa Pani Sadani Sa Mahadeva Sutam Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahakavyanataka Dipriyam Mahakavyanataka Dipriyam Ninisa Gagasa Mahakavyanataka Dipriyam Mushika Vahana Modaka Priyam Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Vasishta Vamadevadi Vandita Mahaganapatim
Thank you, Nitya. A special welcome to Dr. B.T. Venkatesh, the examiner, controller of examinations, Jain University, Dr. B.A. Vasu, the center head, Jain University, all the learning officers from iNurture, and all the dignitaries, the speakers, and everybody who are present here. Lord Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." With this note, it's time to begin the plenary session 2 on emerging trends of business in VUCA for education, inclusion, and IoT. I now call upon Professor Naveen Kumar CM Coordinator, Department of BBM, to introduce the moderator for the session, Dr. Rajdeep K. Manwani.
Good morning, one and all present here. In fact, it's my privilege to introduce one of the most respectful teacher, a lecturer of Jain University. According to Swami Vivekananda, he quotes, "Take risk in your life. If you lose, you guide. If you win, you lead." So one such personality who has literally motivated almost all the teachers. In fact, whatever been given as far as his curriculum is concerned, but still one such instance is what I have encountered, probably in Seshadripuram College. When I had an interaction with Seshadripuram College principal, he was sharing. Sir was the chief guest of College Day Seshadripuram College. There were around 550 to 600 people who were sitting in the hall, and topmost politicians were invited. You may not believe the extent of pin drop silence was maintained when Rajiv sir came on the podium. That shows what a motivating factor or what a motivating personality is. The moderator of today, Professor in Commerce and Management, Coordinator, Jain University. Dr. Rajdeep K. Manwani is a first rank holder and a gold medalist in MCOM from Mysore University, an excellent academician and a trainer for more than 20 years, and he has conducted thousands of corporate training programs for students, groups, professionals, fellow academicians and industry bodies on various topics ranging from academic deliberation to management strategies. The most prestigious award what he got recently, he was honored with the National Award for President's Award, a role model for visually challenged, on December 2013 for his outstanding contribution to the society. He has proven a track record in imparting quality education to university students in the subject of commerce, finance, management, and guiding senior students on wide-ranging academic research projects, mentoring students to win intercollegiate championship, and a part of quality assurance team, a public speaker, moderator, and a quiz master. He has addressed national and international audience on various topics, moderated and hosted multiple debates, discussion and talk shows, and he sought after quiz master. He is a motivational speaker and a mentor, and regularly motivates and mentors groups of persons with disability, their families and caregivers. A volunteer with organization actively participating in disability welfare. It's a privilege to have sir today. It's pleasure, sir. I request our center head, Dr. B.A. Vasu, to welcome Dr. Rajdeep K. Manwani with a bouquet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naveen sir. I now call upon Rajdeep sir to take over the session.
Thank you, Naveen sir, for that wonderful introduction. When I'd gone to Seshadripuram and he was talking about those 550 people, pin drop silence, it was just after lunch and everybody was very No wonder there was pin drop silence. When Ashwini began the session today, she started off with a quote from William Shakespeare. Coins make a lot of sound and currency notes are silent. She was referring to me as the coin and those three speakers as the currency notes. You know, that's how she started the session. She told me, is it okay, Rajdeep? I told, absolutely fine. You're referring to me, doesn't matter. Gar ki murgi dar balabar. Okay, chalo. Anyway, it's my absolute pleasure to be the moderator for the discussion today on VUCA, the emerging trends in business and education, IoT, and inclusion. I was speaking to my friend yesterday who was appointed as a manager in a tea plantation in Munnar. And he told me, Rajdeep, VUCA is so predominant even in the tea sector. I told, how? He told me, Rajdeep, when I was appointed as the manager there, every day morning I used to get up at 5, I have a habit, and I used to see these lights, people holding lanterns coming down from the hills. So I asked the people around, what are these lanterns? And they told me, you know, sir, the tea plantations are on top of the hills, but these tea workers, to perform their morning ablutions, they have to go down the hill and in the fields. I didn't know the meaning of ablutions. I later on looked it up, and you might know what it is, isn't it? And he was a little curious. He told, why isn't there any toilet on top? He told, no, sir, there are no toilets on top. But they can't perform their morning ablutions on top of the hill, but otherwise you'll get flavored tea. You know, means you'll get... So he told they have to go down. So he told, this is absolutely inhuman. We have to set up a toilet complex on top. So he recommended and he set up a toilet complex on top for those hard tea workers, spending nearly 20 to 25 lakhs. For the first week, everything went on fine, and he was very happy that he had reduced the burden of those tea workers. But after 15 days, when he got up at 5, he saw the same lanterns going from top to bottom. He was a little shocked. They are not using the toilets at all. When he contacted some of the workers and he had some link workers, something very strange turned out. Those workers said, these toilets are suffocating. He told, why? He told, you know, in the morning we work hard from morning to evening. And when we go down to the fields among the bushes, that's the only time we have chance to interact with each other. One person will be telling, oh, you know, Manchaya's daughter ran away with Kanchaya's son. And all that has got stopped because of these toilets. And can you believe it? He told, Rajdeep, even after forcing them, I couldn't ask them to use the toilets on top. And now I have to destroy that entire toilet complex on top. That is VUCA for you. Thankfully not in the field of education. We don't have to destroy any more toilets here. But today we have amongst ourselves three very eminent personalities. First among them, I'm going to introduce them one by one. First amongst ourselves, we have the Principal Counselor and the Head Educational Excellence for the CII Quality Initiative, Mr. Senthil Kumar. Mr. Senthil Kumar is a leader and an expert in the field of TQM, Total Quality Management. He has given sessions on TQM in over 7,500 organizations. He has conducted assessments for over 80 organizations in quality. He has been responsible for bringing the Malcolm Badrich National Quality Roadshow to India. He has done several initiatives in the field of education. He is a certified trainer in the Quality Kit, the American Society of Quality Initiative Excellence over here. And he is a pioneer in the field of excellence, total quality management, and bringing out the best among organizations. So with a big round of applause, please welcome Mr. Senthil Kumar. I would request one of the volunteers to please hand over a flower bouquet to him. Yes? You all can clap when he gets the bouquet so that I know I have to start the next person. Okay. Second amongst us, we have a very, very eminent personality. She told Vasu sir is still giving the bouquet. Yeah. No, you'll please clap. No, you'll have to clap when they give the bouquet so that I know it. Don't clap for them, clap for me at least. So that okay. Next we have Mr. Sanjeev Rao, a very, very eminent scholar. He is the managing partner of Sattva. Before that, he worked in Gateway to India, an initiative which accelerated Indo-European initiatives in the field of commerce, and he's worked with clients like Renault and Schneider. He was a principal consultant at BCG from 2001 to 2006. He came back to India in 2006 and started an initiative called Sattva that speaks volumes about his values and his willingness to contribute towards the society. So, a person who has done his MBA from INSEAD regularly speaks at colleges and corporates in Europe and France, teaching them on leadership and teaching them on VUCA in particular. So please welcome with a big round of applause Mr. Sanjeev Rao. Last but not the least, we have Mr. Mohammad Naseem, a person who is an avid fitness enthusiast. He is the CEO and founder of Get Active, an organization which has started the first wearable tech device in India, which gauges persons' sedentary lifestyle and gives suggestions on how to improve your lifestyle and fitness. He has 2 decades of experience in various corporate positions in IBM, Wipro, Infosys, and has done a commendable job by starting off a venture in 2011, becoming the first and only company in India to have wearable tech devices. A very keen marathon runner, an extremely good adventure enthusiast, and most importantly, contributing to society with his information technology and wearable tech devices. Please give a big round of applause to Mohammad Naseem. We are going to start off the session immediately. We'll start off with Mr. Senthil Kumar, who's going to speak on VUCA and education. Remember the time, we are running just around half an hour late, so if we can have around 20 minutes for the presentation, if all the and around 3 or 4 minutes for the question, will that be okay, sir? That will be okay, because if you go beyond time, because I had gone to a Rotary seminar and then asked them how long do I speak. They said you speak for however long you want, we'll leave after 20 minutes. So so that I don't want that to happen. So please welcome on stage Mr. Senthil Kumar.
Okay. What I will do is that, is it okay if I go without a collar mic? Sometimes what happens, the teacher gets, I think the people sitting in the back, you can come in the front. I'll try to speak as loud as possible. Being a lecturer for 11 years, surely I think my voice can be heard. Can you just come forward quickly so that we can, the people sitting in the last, as in the front. कभी-कभी lecturers की आदत जाती नहीं है. That's all is the problem. Lecturers don't want their front rows to be empty. Fine. First of all, thanks the team Jain University for getting me to speak. I think I'll go by podium in case you guys are not comfortable. Okay. First of all, thanks to the team Jain University for getting me here to talk to the participants of this particular conference on VUCA, basically trying to talk about innovation and strategies. When Matthew called me and Vasu called me and said that we want you to speak on education on a topic like VUCA, I really took a couple of minutes to really understand what they are trying to tell me. But finally, I think they were successful in creating a VUCA around me to come here to make sure that I at least share some of my thoughts on the subject, which also compelled me to actually reflect really and trying to understand. What I am going to attempt in this particular session is I'm not going to show too much of statistics, which typically most of the conferences people talk about. As a person who has been in organizing conferences for 30, 40 conferences in last 10 years, probably one thing which we have learned is that when people come for such conferences, they would like to see what they would like to take back. So keeping the perspectives and keeping the needs of the profile of the people who are sitting here, I'm trying to use as much of picture possible, just helping you to understand how exactly this whole concept can work in the sector as such. So I have a very small disclaimer here that in case if there is any anecdote or any reference has been made, it is not about your institution. First. Second is that if at all, if there is going to be a picture or anything, it is just for representation sake only, not for saying that, oh, this is my institution or this is my photograph. No. So this is all about, now, if there are incidents which are very similar to your institutions, you are responsible. I'm not responsible for that. So that's where I just want to start this particular session. I think from yesterday, you have been hearing too much on VUCA. Let me focus specifically on Indian education sector and VUCA, where exactly this particular concept starts working. Whenever I go to different conferences, seminars, institutions across the country, I keep asking people one particular question as a person who's been a lecturer for 11 years and last 11 years trying to be working with the education institution, trying to help them to improve their practices. This is one question which keeps disturbing, which keeps, wanting you to really find out what is the best way, what is the best way. And you know what answers I get when I ask this particular question? They give me an answer something like this, which doesn't have any correlation to the education sector, because they say that, okay, this is not there, that is not there. Then, or they give me so much of data that I get confused like this. Because what happens is that there is so much of data which is being given for people to say that what exactly is to be done and how exactly it has to be presented. So probably looking at these two connotations, my purpose of coming to this particular conference was that whenever we talk about institutions, are we trying to talk about something called as measurements? Because if you try to give me some data like this and like this, if you give me data, I don't understand what are you trying to hint. Should I use Colgate or should I not use Colgate? The second is this kind of data. This is a live restaurant opposite to a hotel in opposite to a college in Cochin. This is a restaurant. And this restaurant really had a very typical challenge when WhatsApp era was not there. I'm talking about 2003 and 2004. That's the time this particular restaurant had this as a very good, a way to ensure that his tables are saved. Because this particular restaurant, which was opposite to the college, the students used to sit down there and have coffee, juice, snacks, whatever they wanted. And they used to show all their expressions on the table, which was, which was kept there. So people used to start drawing, and every time he had this problem to replace the table. So what he did was that he brought a glass tables and he kept some pencils and he kept some post-its and said, whatever creativity you want, you can show it, and just while going, you can put it there and get out. But the kind of data which was coming out from this particular aspect on feedback particularly was fantastic. Because when you spoke to this particular manager and trying to understand from him what is that why he did like this, he said one was this, the second purpose was I really wanted to understand what still needs to be done, what can be done better. So people also started using this as a message board to communicate. But this never gave him a right kind of data to basically talk about why he started restaurant or why he started that particular place. So when you try to talk about any institutions or Indian education, people basically try to talk about the bottom of the pyramid, saying that so many activities, so many budgets, so much results coming in, but achieving the purpose of education, I'm sorry, it's not even coming. When you go to education institutions, one of the major challenges which we are facing because of so many theories, concepts and other things coming in. So when we go and ask a management that, can you tell me 3 features about your institution? First, they talk about infrastructure. Second, they talk about the technology, whatever they have. And third, in some institutions, unfortunately in Hyderabad where I was, one school talked about saying that we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Now, you really have to really think why, what are they trying to talk about? The teacher who is in that particular classroom is somewhere getting lost. So how this particular teacher can be empowered to ensure that the top of the pyramid, whatever that particular institution's aspirations are, have to be very clearly being said. So when you try to talk about education sector, a particular or education institution, whether it is school or college, we have taken a lot of learning from industry. We have taken a lot of learning, and it's good that you need to take good management practices to come in. Thanks to National Assessment and Accreditation Council, at least every college today has a very interesting, beautiful vision statement which is put across the walls, across the campus. But few years back that was not there. But there was no correlation between the vision which was put on the on the wall and the practices which were done in that particular campus. So where is that particular correlation which was actually happening? I'm not even sure. So the best thing is that most of your from the academic community, go back and look at the annual report of your own campus. Where exactly, what is the kind of data that is being talked about in your own institution? And that's where probably I think it is required that you need to spend some time basically to understand that why did we start this particular institution? What are some of our purposes? What is that we would like to deliver at the end of the day, and how it can be value adding for that particular student and that particular teacher in the campus. But at the end of the day, the student who comes into education institution is somebody who is very, and each student comes with a colorful dreams. When he comes for colorful dreams, somewhere I think the most important mantra which anybody has to really look at is quality of education which gets delivered to him or her in the format what he or she wants to learn. The people from the academics will surely agree with me on this particular theory that no education institution teaches any child to learn, but it only creates the practices for helping a child to learn the way he or she wants to learn. Now, if we can really start looking at this particular way, then probably we will start redefining the practices whatever that we have in our own institution. When we try to talk about Indian education sector and then what are some of the scenarios, what are some of the VUCA related things, I just try to put some thoughts of mine. You have so much of segmentation which has been done. People are still getting confused where exactly we need to hit, what exactly are some of the scenarios which will come in. Thanks to RMSA, SSA, when 8th standard used to be part of middle school, now it has been high school, now it has been shifted to middle school, and 9, 10, level 12 is part of higher secondary. You are trying to talk about integration of national vocational education qualification, which class, where, how exactly it needs to be fit. I think we need to really look into that particular. The second important thing which I feel is basically is that changing stakeholder needs and expectation. The expectations are changing. The industry is asking. You may get a lot of statistics right from yesterday. You might have heard 12% employable, 10% employable, 13% employable. All this is very, very good. But probably what is that needs to be done, and that's where I think the academics and the industry have to come together and basically start working on this particular space. So how it can be done? One of the simple ways which we normally suggest to academic community is that please go and ask that particular segment who is actually taking your students to their institution. Have you spent some time to say that what are the kind of competencies that are required to somebody to get into different avatars or different roles in your own campus, in your own organization. So once you have very clearly been defined, then please go back and rework on some of the practices to ensure that the teaching, learning or the activities which has been done in a campus automatically gets strengthened. There is always a question of access, quantity and quality. Today we can take pride in saying that in higher education we are at 19.65% as per the Deloitte last report. But in school education, again we are talking about 87% still being holded by the government itself. And the schools which we are trying to talk about, which makes a lot of noise on the name of RTE, is only less than 2% in the country. So probably when you are trying to understand some of these aspects, you are trying to talk about access at one particular point, you are trying to make sure that the quantity has to be increased. Some people say quality has to be increased. If you go through the CBSE model itself, they have made the funnel little more wider by removing the class 10 examination itself. So what happens? A lot of pouring in takes place. Now let the market decide who are the people who are actually wanting to do certain things. So probably when we try to look at some of these parameters, we really need to be saying what is that particular situation which may come into sector. Next important thing is quality assurance. I think we have a NAC model which I consider personally as a compliance model, not an excellence model. Recently till it got little reviewed in the last review process when the whole criteria got. There the question of how started coming into the NAC aspects as such. The next important thing which I wanted to touch upon is practices and performance. You go to an institution, how many conferences you have done, how many seminars you have done, how many papers you have presented, how many things you have done. There's a lot of matrix which is being done, but there's no correlation between the practices and the performance which is happening in that particular. So practice is getting strength. You are on the name of strengthening the practice. Somewhere what is happening is too much of things are being expected from that particular teacher or that particular professor, that particular faculty. He or she is not even knowing how exactly it has to be done. I still remember many institutions, when we go and interact with them, we find something very interesting. Like many of you have come from other colleges, you will also get a certificate at the end of the conference. What you will go back and do? What is that you're going to do? You're going to take a photocopy and go back to that IQAC coordinator and tell him, please file it in my record. In some institutions, they are very little more smarter than them. So what they will ask, they will say, can you write a one-page report? Then only your TADA bill will be getting cleared. In some cases, it is still more, better, some more better than this, that they may ask you to do a presentation saying that please tell us one slide on every session what you have takeaway for you.